Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ted.
Ted, you're smiling. Lead us in.
This is a great movie.
Lead us in.
Glass Onion, a Knives Out story. The second movie in the Knives Out franchise about the wonderful Benoit Blanc, the world's greatest detective.
Yes.
It's really great. I mean, what did you think?
I loved it. I loved the first one, and I was to be honest, I was a little skeptical going into this one. And by the way, this is on Netflix.
Yes.
It's a Netflix original.
Just dropped.
It did spend a little time because I guess it was so good and they put it at the box office. I don't know why, maybe for awards or something.
That's why.
But it came back quickly to they got their feet in the water. Yeah, test it out. But it dropped on Netflix, and I did. I saw the first one, Knives Out. I loved it. I was excited to hear that this was coming out. But I'll be honest with you, sequels are very difficult when it comes to surpassing the great job of the first one. I mean, if it's a good one, I don't guess they do make sequels of bad movies, but this was, wow.
It's a great movie. It was better than the original.
It was.
Sorry, not sorry, Like Ed Norton, great actor. That steps it up right there. Like, all the actors in it are great. Every single actor was wonderful in their role. Janelle Monáe, musician, actor. But, I know her more as a musician. I don't as much know her as an actor, but she did a great job.
She did an amazing job. I'm watching this, and, of course, at a point you get struck by something, and her performance struck me. And so I had to find out who she was because I did not recognize her from anything else. And I turned to my children who were watching this with us. We made this a family night because we all love Knives Out, the original, the first one. And it's like, said her name, and they were all like, "Are you kidding me? That's her?" And I was. So,
and I guess she has been in it. Now that I look at it, she has Hidden Figures, Moonlight. Yeah, I mean, she I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. She's just a good actor, and she transforms.
And she's easy on the eyes.
Yep.
She's beautiful woman in this movie.
Great musician.
And I can't tell you a song she sings. I can't. I haven't seen an MTV award show or a People's Choice or. I just, I like listening to music, but I don't follow it nowhere near as much as I follow movies and television series. I'm not into music that much. It relaxes me, So, but movies excite me. Series excite me. So I didn't know who she was.
Well, now you know. Now you got to go check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to get the kids to throw some downloads onto my account so I can listen to her music, which will probably disappoint me.
Come on.
Yeah, I'd rather see her as an actress than...
Daniel Craig back in this as the lead. He was amazing. I can't believe that character he can somehow make believable. But he does.
We've talked about this before in other episodes, and because I have a deep admiration for actors. I mean, I've tried to be in front of the camera, and it is not an easy task, people. I just want you to know that. I mean, no number of shots can get me in front of a camera and do a good job. And I've been there in front of the camera. And I've talked about this in past episodes. There are times when actors go out there and they make you forget who they are as a real life person, and you believe them to be whoever they're portraying. And Daniel Craig was not James Bond, arguably the greatest James Bond. For somebody to take that and basically take it like a piece of paper and wad it up and throw it into the garbage can, and you're watching this guy named Daniel Craig play, I can't even pronounce Boulogne, oh my gosh, he was great. Great. So.
Yeah. Kathryn Hahn, great comedic actress from Step Brothers. I mean, she's a dramatic actress too. Bad Moms.
Yeah.
She's in all that stuff.
Yeah. Hysterical.
She was great in this.
Yeah.
I feel like,
My wife goes, oh my God, that's the girl from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, the psychiatrist.
Is she?
I was like, yeah, that's her.
Kate Hudson. Haven't seen Kate Hudson in a minute.
I love Kate Hudson.
Love Kate Hudson.
Love Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, I'm a doppelganger, if you don't know that.
Okay.
All right. I mean, well.
You are really an actual doppelganger.
I'm a doppelganger.
Yeah.
I was Rick Moranis's, if you don't know who Rick Moranis, well.
Everyone knows who Rick Moranis
You've lived under a rock, okay? I was Rick Moranis's stunt and photo double in a previous life. But I grew up with Kate Hudson's doppelganger, and you might know her locally, Heather. Well, I'm not going to say her married name, but her last name's Height. You know the Heights?
Heather Height? I don't think so.
No. Well, she was my age, but she was, anyway, she looks like Kate Hudson. So I've always, and Heather was my first girlfriend ever, first grade.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at you.
Your first love always sticks with you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Kate Hudson is definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and she looks she's a doppelganger to Kate. So ever since Kate came onto the scene, she's always had my attention. So
she killed it too.
Isn't it funny how things in your life relate to other things? I probably wouldn't, if it weren't for Heather, really cared that much about Kate Hudson, but because I have that association, I was like, oh, that girl looks like Heather. I'm going to watch that movie, and then it turns out to be a great actress.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've done that.
So, okay. We'd do that.
Crushes. So here's one for you.
They exist at 55, people. I just want you to know that. You still get crushes.
Rian Johnson's first movie was a movie called Brick. I don't know if you know that. Have you seen Brick? Brick is wonderful. Brick is a high school noir movie. It's David Gordon-Levitt and a bunch of other people, but they're Lucas Haas, Megan Good, and they're all in high school, but it's a noir, and he's like a detective trying to figure out what happened. So it's super cool. The dialogue's very heightened, and the guy that played Daryl, that's just walking around throughout the entire movie, he's like, oh, don't mind me, man. I'm just blending in. Yeah. He is from Brick.
Oh, okay.
He's in all of Rian Johnson's movie. They're buddies, I guess, but like he is. He's great. Noah Segan, that's his name. He's a great actor.
I don't want to give anything away because there's zero chance we're just going to talk about this movie in general terms.
Yeah, not.
Because I don't want to give anything out of the way. This walking around character, it was so funny. Kudos to the director and the writers for introducing that character. Because if there's a character, because this is a whodunit, folks. I mean, there's no spoiler alert to this. This is a murder mystery.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's what it is. But they introduce that character, and your mind immediately goes to, because, never mind me, or I'm just passing through.
Yeah.
Your mind immediately goes, okay, there's your killer. Did you not get that?
If I had not seen Knives Out, I would have been like, oh yeah, that dude somehow. But I had seen Knives Out, and I was like, that's the thing about these movies that I like so much. It doesn't matter how smart you are. There are 7 different turns that it takes to say, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
You cannot guess who did it.
Yeah.
And I tried the whole time.
I did too, because it was great. What I love about this movie is Edward Norton.
Just his performance?
Everything. The way he delivered everything, the way he interacted with everybody. He was great.
Do you think he had a coffee date with Elon Musk before he did this? Do you think he got a coffee with Elon and said, I just want to pick your brain a little about being,
being you.
Yeah, being like a narcissistic, dude that creates energy.
It was amazing. It was.
I mean, that had to be what the writing was going for. If it wasn't. Okay, so this guy owns a company. I'm broad stroking it for you. And he's kind of come up with this energy. What was it? It was hydrogen, right? Hydrogen energy.
Well, if we can...
We're not spoiling anything.
No,
I just want to say
not.
what the energy was.
Did you pick up on the fact that his character was... I'm trying to figure out how to put this the best way. He was a leech.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything, actually.
Right, okay. I just want to clarify because when you
together.
say, yes, yeah.
He's not as Elon-y as, but I mean, he's pretty...
Right.
He was jumping off and stealing other people's ideas.
There you go. He reminded me of, and I wonder if they said, okay, if you're familiar with the Facebook story about the two brothers that actually...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then Zuckerberg, they hired to come in and build the website. And then, if you believe this story.
Well, in the next 3 to 5 years, we're all going to be in the metaverse anyway. We're all going to just wake up and plug in and go lay down and go into a different world.
Anyway, go ahead, because you're right. I just wanted to clarify for everybody. He doesn't create crap. He's a scoundrel.
He steals it.
Yeah, yes.
So he came up with a solid hydrogen as a fuel, and he was running. The whole thing is he invites all his old friends out to a Greek island, and they're going to do a murder mystery thing. But things go awry, like it's planned. It's a murder mystery thing, and they're all going to make a weekend of it. But things go awry. The greatest detective in the world figures it out in 3.5 seconds, and you think like that was the greatest thing. It's like, this is 17 minutes into this movie, and he's already ended it. And then things start to unravel.
Yes.
But the whole island is run on solid hydrogen. And he's going to put that out in the world.
Yes. I have also watched a series. I started the series before I did watched the movie. And then I've watched the series again. It's called Murderville.
Yeah, with Will Arnett.
Yeah. And I thought it was, watching those two kind of together was really, really interesting on solving the crime. You see how in Murderville, at the end, it's a series, and what they do is they bring an actor or a celebrity on, and they basically stage a murder, and the guest celebrity, is giving clues throughout the filming of this. There's no script for the celebrity. Everybody else is scripted in this series except for the celebrity. And Will Arnett, he I'm sure improvs a lot. But at the end of the show, the celebrity has to guess which of one of three people that they've built up or provided clues to was the actual murderer. And so they either get it right or they get it wrong. But they have to explain. They just can't point at somebody and the gym teacher did it. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to say, why did you come to that conclusion? So you're talking about in this movie, I loved how they laid that portion explaining the crime. Mm-hmm. How, the world's greatest detective, in this case, from the get-go, picked it all up. And they didn't spoil it. They just let it kind of play through, and it was great.
Yeah. I can't think of anything I honestly would have wanted any more in this movie. And there's little really funny things at the beginning. He's like... he's in a tub smoking a cigar because he's solved all these cases, and he's having a 4-way Zoom convo with Angela Lansbury. Who else was it?
Oh my God! Oh no!
It was Angela Lansbury. Yeah. It was
they were all known as television detectives.
Yeah, and one was a writer.
And no, I can't tell you who besides Angela Lansbury was in that, but that was very. That was fun. You wonder what the world's greatest detective does when he's depressed and bored and there are no real crimes to solve. He sits in a bathtub and Zooms.
Yeah, and smokes cigars.
Yeah, and I loved how they cut this movie together. I love, and you once said that you don't like the going back and in time and cutting against the past. But
Well, I do in this.
yeah,
It works.
It really was done smartly. It was done wonderfully to tie the whole thing together, which it leads to the point of you're trying to solve this mystery from the get-go, because you sit down and you watch a show like this. Okay, it's a whodunit. I want to figure it out. I want to know at the end if I'm right, in my head. And so they get through this, and you start putting the pieces together. And then right when you hit that climax, the director, the story writers, they basically turned it upside down and did a rewind on you real quick. So you go back and they pick up what would have been the deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. And which now causes your mind to scramble to your thought process of who done it, because they basically have taken a big eraser and erased the whodunit board, mm-hmm. and you're at square one again, trying to figure out who did it, and of course the echo of, was I right to begin with? But it was brilliant.
Brilliant. I think you're just a liar if you say you had it figured out.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't. Obviously doing that rewind helps a lot that they did, but which again, from an entertainment value, that going back and picking up on the deleted scenes, that was brilliant. That was smart directing and editing and storytelling, because it did. It just it did. It threw it into a whole new circle.
In a movie like this, I like to see how the sausage was made. So I appreciate going back and showing me how we got to this point.
Yeah.
Because, if you just told us what happened and you're like, this person did it, and it's like an episode of Scooby-Doo, then I would be like, whoa. Explain these things that don't seem like they're possible.
Right. And in your analogy there are no fillers in this sausage.
No.
Every bit of it was necessary. It's, meat and spices.
Grass-fed.
Yeah, it was.
No hormones, grass-fed meat.
Yeah. There was no byproduct put in this sausage, because everything that was done made sense. There was not a downtime in this movie, because, again, it just had you thinking.
No point in that movie did it ever slow up.
I ended this movie going, okay, now I'm going to want to go back and watch it again, just so I can watch it.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
I haven't yet.
Oh, I've watched it twice.
I got so much going on, and hey, I'm here for you people. I'm trying to keep ahead of the curve on new shows, but I'm going to go back and watch this. I'm going to go back and watch this 2-3 times.
Yeah, I ran through it the day it came out on Christmas Eve, at that afternoon, and then at the end of the night, my parents always have a party, so at like 11, I went downstairs and watched the last 20 minutes of it, and the entire time I was jonesing. Everybody'd be like, we were having drinks and hanging out, and I'd be like, man, it's 10:30, when's everybody going home? And then finally at 11, I go, I gotta go finish Knives Out. And and then I watched it again. I watched it Christmas Day night again. After I watched Violent Night.
That's a Christmas
because everybody
movie.
wanted to watch the Knives Out movie, and we watched.
Oh, Violent Night! Wait a minute, that's
the David Harbour Santa Claus. We can't review it because it's not streaming.
Not a streamer, but
it's great. It's really good. You should watch it. It's worth it. Don't pay $20 like I did the other day, but like it's super worth it.
When it hits a streaming
normal
service, do it.
Or even when it's like available for rental for $6, do it. It's very enjoyable, and David Harbour is
he's awesome.
And John Leguizamo's the bad guy.
Oh,
he's great.
He is good at a bad guy.
He's so good. Anyway, that's a side note. Both movies are wonderful, though.
All right, yeah. No, I forget where we're going. No sausage, no fillers.
All killer, no filler.
There you go. There you go.
It's just hard to talk about this movie without giving anything away.
It really is. But
I mean, I can do this. So just for everybody before you go, I can give you a little character listing. Okay,
Yeah.
so Dave Bautista plays Duke Cody, who's like a Joe Rogan-esque type guy that loves guns and he's just very macho. He's not Joe Rogan. He's more the Liver King.
Are you not shocked and surprised by Dave Bautista and his acting ability?
I mean, he's been good since he started.
I mean, all right, here you go. Who's a better actor? The Rock?
The Rock.
We're going to pull...
The Rock.
Really?
The Rock is a better actor.
See, I'm just pulling from the WWE. John Cena.
John Cena, I think...
Cena.
I like John Cena. Well, it's different because they're all good.
I know, but I mean...
I love Dave Bautista. I loved Cena. Here's what happened with Cena. Cena was playing all those macho tough guys, and then he would do a little bit role here where he kind of made fun of himself.
Right.
Or made fun of what he looks like or whatever. And then it's like, oh. And then he just did, the show that I've been trying to get you to watch.
Oh,
You're not going to watch it.
I got 2 episodes in, and I'm sorry.
He's so funny in it, though.
The phallic helmet just is too much for
I got you. He's great.
And I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, but that was unnecessary.
It's actually a good question. I think The Rock is really good because, I'm
not saying he's bad, but I'm a Dave Bautista fan.
Bautista's done more differing roles than The Rock. The Rock is the hero in everything. Dave Bautista is not the hero in almost anything.
Right.
He's
the unlikely hero.
Yeah, so that's probably he's more John McClane. He's more of a John McClane.
And that alone makes him a better actor or a very better character actor than any of them.
Well, The Rock is
John McClane.
The Rock is Schwarzenegger. He is my time
Your
period.
Generation.
He's
all right. Where's John? Where's he?
He's the Kurt Russell. He's underrated, but he comes out with some zingers here and there, and he's really good in some stuff. But he's the Kurt Russell.
All right, go on with the cast. I'm John Bautista. I love him.
And John Bautista has a girlfriend, and her name is Madelyn Cline.
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista. Sorry.
So sorry. Yeah.
Duke Cody. His girlfriend's name is Whiskey, and they're like streamers, and they're just exactly what you think. And then Kathryn Hahn is the governor, or running for the governor of Connecticut.
Right.
And she has...
And I misspoke. Kathryn Hahn was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I want to correct that now that you say that.
Okay. And she has an assistant, which I think is... No, that's not her. I'm sorry. Kate Hudson plays a ex-model fashion designer that keeps saying inappropriate things.
Right. But she's not... her character's not very smart.
Yeah, she's not very... She accidentally says racist things.
Yeah, well, it was... She, from a fashion standpoint, creates sweatsuits.
Right.
And so she was asked about a sweatshop that made her sweatsuits. And she took it in the literal sense of, well... they make sweatsuits. It's a sweatshop, right?
Yeah. She's really funny. She's very funny in it, and she has like a handler named Peg. Who's Jessica Henwick, and she's like always trying to fix her stuff.
Yeah.
And then we told you guys about Noah Segan, who is from Brick and all sorts of stuff. He plays Daryl, and then Ethan Hawke and Hugh Grant are in this movie, both of which are in this movie for like. Ethan Hawke's in this movie for 1 minute.
Yeah.
He walks out at the beginning and he does like a monologue and gives everybody a shot and gets back in a car and leaves.
Yeah. And it was so fun. I was going to do this show when we got together, and I was going to play it like this was all about Ethan Hawke over the since Raymond and Ray. But you know what? Here's the good news. Ethan Hawke did not disappoint me in this movie. Up until Raymond and Ray, I was not an Ethan Hawke fan. He changed me in that movie. I'm an Ethan Hawke fan now. And you know what? He did not diminish his standing in this movie for me. So Ethan Hawke, you're still up there. You're a good actor. I look forward to your next project.
I love him. Hugh Grant is in this movie. I'm not going to give you away because it's kind of spoiler-ish, I guess, because it's very pop-up. And then, now I see who the 4 people that they were, or 3 of the people he was talking to in the tub. It's Angela Lansbury, Stephen Sondheim, Natasha Lyonne, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
It's hilarious right there.
Yeah. No, the cameos are entertaining. You have to wonder how those individuals, Hugh Grant, Angela Lansbury,
Serena Williams,
how they got involved in this. I mean, I know. It's funny because they're such small roles. Ethan Hawke, okay, that role could have gone to anybody. It didn't even have to. They didn't have to be. I could have done. I couldn't have done that role because I'm not an actor. But I'm just saying, it was such an inquintessential role that anybody could have done it. And it was Ethan Hawke.
I want to talk about it because there's some really funny jokes, but we can't. I'm not ruining this movie.
Yeah,
we can't get any. I'm not going to tell you what Ethan Hawke's doing. I'm not going to say anything. It's just funny.
I laughed when I saw him.
Oh, I laughed at the minute he started doing what he was doing in the scene.
I
kept being like, "You're good now. No, you're good. You're good." And it was like, "What?"
Yeah,
it's so weak.
There were no lines there. I mean, no scripted lines.
Yeah, none.
That was. But I did because of our history with reviewing Raymond and Ray and Ethan Hawke and our back and forth, and the fact that I didn't like him and you were the great defender of his work, and rightfully so. And I'll admit it, up until Raymond and Ray, I'm now an Ethan Hawke fan. But as soon as the camera popped on him, I was like, oh my God, that's Ethan Hawke. And I just started laughing because I was like, okay, you got to hold your ground, dude. You got to hold your ground.
So I follow him on Instagram and I had no clue. And then he just put out a picture and it was something from Knives Out. And he goes, this is up for and the day of, and he goes, this is for a very small cameo that I got to have in the Knives Out movie. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun. I'm sure it's a scene. I mean, it is, but I think if I time it start to finish from the car stopping is a minute and a half at max.
I loved it. I thought it was so funny. And Hugh Grant, and his cameo, again, another role. Now, I get the Zoom meeting and you need recognizable faces there so you can put it all together and, establish the influence that this detective has on society, that he's hobnobbing with celebrities, But, those, I just wonder how those people like Hugh Grant get involved with these movies. Does somebody just, a friend of a friend?
No, I think.
Or a friend, did they just say, hey, I'm doing this movie. We got this thing, would you just want to come in and do it?
I think if Rian Johnson asked you to do it, then you do it.
Are there any salary negotiations, or you just go in and it goes, all right, you got.
I mean, I don't think there's a huge salary negotiation going on. I mean, it's like, hey,
you got Ethan, 6 lines,
right? Ethan Hawke's rate is this, and it's like, well, it's Rian Johnson movie, and he's like, okay, cool. I don't think they even know. In my experience, when I book stuff, my agent, paid for that. Yeah, my agents don't come back to me and go, hey, this is. They'll be like at the end, they'll like. We're getting this. Are you good? That's it. I think that's about all Ethan Hawke gets. And I'm sure they were like, hey, do you want to go to Greece for a few days and shoot this thing and make, probably 20,000 or more? And the other thing,
so there is negotiation.
Probably, but like the other thing, the Angela Lansbury thing and all that was on a Zoom. So they just probably set up a Zoom camera in their thing and did it.
Yeah. It had that quality, and then I don't recall any ISO shots. So
no,
it was just a feed in. So
and someone off camera making sure they were doing what they're doing.
And
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I because for those roles that was those are pretty big names to come in and just day play, and that was surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you guys, you gotta watch this one. This is there's no disappointment if you like Knives Out. You're gonna love this one because it is 1.5 times better, if not two. I'm might be a little generous there, but it is better.
It is better.
It is. So I'm hoping for a third now. I'm sure there'll be.
Oh, they're doing way more. But they might be different detectives and things like that. But the Ryan Johnson thing, they're going to keep going.
See, this would be great if this was Daniel Craig's new gig.
Well, he definitely has one more.
Definitely. All right. Well, that's good news for me because I would make this. Well, that's just like James Bond. It's supposed to be like a 3-picture deal and then move on. So he's got a James Bond deal with the Knives Out series. So if he's in for 3. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I didn't think of Daniel Craig as James Bond. I think Ed Norton came in and just hit it out of the park. I've always been an Ed Norton fan. He's played some roles that have just shook me to the core. We were talking about what was the one we
American History X.
American History X. Holy crap, that was a performance. Was he nominated for that?
Not for an Oscar.
That was just ridiculous. That was one of the movies that just sticks with you.
Fun fact: the guy that plays his dad in that movie, the one that gets whatever, I forget how he goes, but he goes and is the dad from Boy Meets World, the sitcom from the 90s. Fun fact.
You call it fun. I'll just go with fact. Boy Meets World. Another one of those. I was off living life and that. So
these are my teenage years.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. And I grew up with no cable. So I don't, during my teenage years.
Out at the farm.
Out at the farm. I had cows. Well, my brother had cows. I had a horse and a motorcycle. But anyway. All right. What's your rating on this one?
All the Knives, 10 of 10.
10 of 10.
It's my favorite thing we've watched so far.
I'm mulling that thought over in the head and seeing if that is my favorite thing that we've watched so far. And I'm going to say from a movie standpoint, yes.
Oh, we know. Yeah, you got some series you like better. I'm just talking. I can't think of. Yeah, I thought it was the most fun, great movie I've seen in a long while.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna get my 0 to 100. I'm gonna give this a 95.
Whoa, there you go.
Yeah, and I hope the third one doesn't disappoint. The bar is now just up another notch as episode or sequel 1.
You gonna do it in space?
I don't know.
Something weird like that.
I
think I heard a podcast where he was joking about it. I'm going to do the next one in space or underwater.
He does. You know what? I've been to Louisiana, and he plays that good. He really his accent is pretty spot on.
Go on.
But you know what's great about it, and we're doing it real quick. Daniel Craig's character in this and in the original Knives Out, and what makes him so great on this is the fact that his character doesn't overpower the others.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's not dictating from a character standpoint or a story standpoint the pace, really, of the story. You get the other interaction that gets you thinking, and you're just kind of walking along with Daniel Craig, and you're picking up on things that he says, and did I think that? That kind of thing. So he plays this detective, in my mind, very well, and he lets all the other characters, all the other actors, bring their characters out.
That's true.
And, you come in and who this detective is, and, that deep southern Louisiana accent, and he just kind of mulls through. And I do want to give a spoiler here, though.
Okay.
Daniel Craig is in a swimming pool. And he's wearing a shirt in this. And my wife, I think it was my wife, or I heard there's a reason that Daniel Craig was in the swimming pool with the shirt on, because had he been in the swimming pool with his shirt off, it would have made his character really kind of unbelievable.
Because he's ripped.
Because he's a physical specimen. He's James Bond. And, to see him any other way, you would have gone, oh, great. The world's greatest Louisiana backwoods detective. Works out. He's buff.
He's pretty buff.
No, that was pretty smart of him to do that.
Yeah, that is smart.
Whoever said it or whatever, you're right. That was a good move. Anyway, that's my only spoiler. Solid 95 on this one. That is 10 knives out of 10.
100.
It's a good movie. That's all I can say. No disappointments.
Watch it.
Fully enjoyable. I ate an entire bag of Funyuns while watching this movie and didn't realize
That's gross.
that I didn't. Yeah, well, I paid for it later. And I didn't even realize that I ate the entire bag of Funyuns watching this until my hand went in the bag and there was nothing left and there was still movie going. Well, you go to the theater, you get that big jumbo tub of popcorn, right? Mm-hmm. It goes away. They give free refills. You're shoveling that in. Like, I'm getting my $10 worth of popcorn. Nobody ever does. But you shove. And that's exactly, I was so enthralled in this movie that I just sat there with my hand going in and out of that bag, stuffing Funyuns in my face, have no clue that I was doing that. Just done.
You're addicted.
Well, yeah. I used to be a smoker, so that was my release. And when I quit that 20 years ago, I
started ripping Funyuns.
Well, it just, it's something. It's whatever's handy when I get focused. Anyway. All right, everybody. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.